I am Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel. I want to invite you to watch my upcoming adventures on Deadites on Deck on YouTube.
Watching movies with a dead chick, and the game, funny, strange, hysterical, or just plain bad. This weekend just got amazing. It's a watch-along weekend. Horror and sci-fi, comedy and more. We got it all this weekend. This weekend just got amazing. It's a watch-along weekend. Horror and sci-fi, comedy and more. We got it all this weekend.
Howdy, gang, and welcome to another watch along weekend. They don't take place all weekend long anymore, but on Saturdays. And I just want to say this before we really get into it. I see there's two people in here right now. Now, if people remain in here, even if it's just two people, I will stay for the duration. But if it drops to zero and stays at zero for several minutes, I will be cutting the watch along off. And this is not meant to be mean. It's just so that I don't waste my time. I don't waste y'all's time. If people don't want to attend or can't attend, then I don't want to, make people feel guilty. I don't want to waste my time and all that. So I just wanted to put that out there. Okay. If there are people in here, I will stay for the duration because I'm good as my word. I see there are 4 people in here. So groovy. Hey, the poet, you want to know what my favorite drink I did for the taste test? I think my favorite still has been that Megan grape that I got at the AMC movie theater. And I don't know why that signal thing's been coming up as of late when I do the live streams again. It popped back off there. So hopefully I won't be stuttering or going in and out or anything like that. But the poet, yes, in answer to your question, the grape has been my favorite, but I don't know if you watched my Fanta Orange, the Five Nights at Freddy's orange. I had figured out that if you have a weak fountain machine, you're going to get a weak taste on the Fanta. And I would expect that the Fanta taste from the bottles or cans is going to be pretty consistent. And I really like the orange. And I may have kind of a revised review. Hey, Phil, kind of a revised review for the Chucky's Punch because I was able to pick one of those up in the bottle today at Walmart when Steve and I went. So I've got that up. If anybody wants to check out the Pick Your Poison taste test, I've got a ton of them up. I actually did 2 yesterday. One for the strawberry Fanta with the grabber from Black Phone. If you get it in the bottle or can, it'll have the grabber on there. But I also did one for a boozy drink, which was the Witch's Brew Margarita from Chili's. So if y'all haven't checked those out and you want to see what I thought of those too, be sure to check those out. I've also got, a ton of stuff that I feel like I put up on the channel for this past week. We had a celluloid trash talking about murder weapon and mutilations, VHS overload fave horror VHS covers from 1988. Horror movie rewind talking about Friday the 13th from 1980. They're all messed up talking about the severed arm and the single girls. And last night I had Evil Dead Chick Slasher Fest, and we watched Night of the Demons and Happy Hell Night. And there's a ton of videos that I put up. I've got 3 episodes of We Watch Movies with me and Steve. We did a 4th one today, this afternoon, so I've got to put it up at some point. There's a ton of Pick Your Poison taste tests. There's some Highway to Hells, where me and Steve went to see Weapons, The Conjuring Last Rites, and The Long Walk. There's Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel stuff, just all kinds of stuff on the channel. So if you haven't checked it all out, be sure to check it out. And I feel like I just left somebody a message on Messenger, and I blab all the time, folks. And so I feel like I got to take a breather. Also, for those of you that haven't heard or haven't seen on Facebook, I have acquired a new pet, an African pygmy dormouse, or as they're called in some circles, a micro squirrel. Now, he's not actually a squirrel, but he has a squirrel tail, and he looks very much like a baby or young squirrel. And I got him from an exotic pet place in Texas, and I had to pay private transport, hey, Gory Tiger, to have him transported from Texas to my house. There's not too many places that will do that. Usually they want to deliver to an airport in your hometown, you know, or a big city, and you have to go and pick the animal up. But in this case, Best Exotics, they're lovely people to work with, Sean and Bonnie. If you're looking for an exotic pet and you want to be able to have it delivered to your home, that's the way to go. If you want to be able to, like I said, get it delivered to your home. Hey, Tom, you say I always had cats and dogs, but not at this moment. Yeah, I mean, I had cats too and dogs when I lived with my parents. Steve doesn't hate cats. He's just more of a dog person. So we've always had dogs during our marriage. And I'm the one that has acquired these other animals, the parakeets and the bearded dragons and the iguana, the ball python, the guinea pigs, and now the dormouse, who is, he's not the original inspiration for Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel, but he is Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel 2.0. And nobody can talk me out of that. So he is Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel 2.0 because, like I said, he looks very much like a young squirrel. He is a mouse, but like squirrels, they're all part of the rodent family. So he has very similar features to a squirrel. And they are, in some circles, called micro squirrels. So, if you're my friend on Facebook and you haven't saw my little video and the pictures of Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel, be sure to check those out. And, you know, if you're interested, look these little guys up. They're very interesting creatures. They are nocturnal, so you're probably not going to see them in the day. They stay buried in their bedding. Or if you have a little tunnel or a toilet paper roll or something in there, they will, you know, stay hidden in the daylight hours, but usually for a few hours at dusk and a few hours at dawn, they are active. That's when they come out and eat and drink and do all that jazz. So just giving you all a little primer on African pygmy dormice or micro squirrels. And yes, before anybody says anything, they are legal in Kentucky if you get a permit. And I had to get a permit. Kentucky Fish and Wildlife does require that you get a permit for them. Not all states do, but Kentucky does. So I didn't want anybody to get any ideas that I was illegally obtaining some kind of animals. So I'm just right now I'm telling you, I've got all the paperwork for little Ozzy. Um, but it looks like I'm going to lose all my people just laughing away like this. So um, I won't have anything going on tomorrow, but in the coming week, we should have some more celluloid trash, some more VHS overload, horror movie rewind. They're all messed up, on and on and on. But before we get to Videodrome, I just wanted to remind everybody of the different ways that you can support me and the channel that don't cost you a dime. As much as I appreciate the super chats and the super stickers and people joining my Patreon and all that, I also know that in this day and age, especially, everybody isn't made out of money. So there are free ways that don't cost you one dime, but they can really, really help me and the channel. Okay. And help me hopefully get to my next milestone of 1,000 subscribers. I'm getting really, really close. So here's the ways you can do that. If you have been on the fence about subscribing, now is a fantastic time to subscribe because I have a Halloween giveaway going on. I've got 3 5-movie prize packs of 5 movies in each prize pack. They're all Blu-rays. They have been pre-watched, but they all play beautifully. And there's no DVDs, no 4Ks in there. They are all Blu-rays. And if you're interested, I've had a few people subscribe, but they haven't entered the contest, and that's fine. But, can't turn down free movies, folks, right? Or the chance to win free movies. So the way that you do this is, first of all, subscribe. And you can't have your channel handle or screen name hidden for this contest. If you're not interested in entering the contest, okay. I don't even know how you hide or allow it to be seen because I haven't ever looked into that. But apparently you can do that. But if you want to enter this contest, you got to let me see who's actually subscribed. Yeah, almost 1,000. I don't know if YouTube's screwing around with me again or what, but I had 990 last night. Now I have 988. We'll see. We'll wait a couple of days, see if it goes back up. But yes, I'm getting very close. And that's just my next milestone. Some people might not think that's a big deal or anything, but I feel like I've worked very hard on my channel, and I'm proud of myself for what I have achieved. And so first of all, you got to subscribe, and then you need to go where I announced the giveaway, which is a video on the channel. I think it says something Halloween prize pack giveaway. And in fact, I can put, I'll be glad to put that in the chat so y'all don't have to go looking for it, right? Sorry if y'all heard that. I was just trying to get this copied and pasted so I could put that in there for you. Okay. So once you subscribe, you got to put your channel handle or screen name in the comment under the video, okay, about the giveaway. And then if I have any takers, this is going on from now until 11:59 p.m. Eastern time on October 31st, Halloween. And then if I have any people enter, I will put all the names in hopefully an orange plastic Halloween jack-o'-lantern that kids would carry around and get their candy into this. And I will draw 3 names out, and those will be the 3 winners of the prize packs, okay? If I don't have any takers on it, I'll probably do some kind of caption contest or trivia contest because I need to get rid of I need to get rid of some of these movies that I've got laying around here that I've upgraded or whatever. So there is that. And also some other ways that you can support me that in the channel that don't cost you a dime is by hitting the notification bell so you don't miss any of the new content I've got coming out. Hit the like button on anything you particularly enjoyed. If you enjoyed everything, heck, hit the like button on everything, folks. And those are all ways that you can support me in the channel. They don't cost you a dime. And here's one last way. You can share with friends and family members that you think might enjoy the content that I'm putting out. You can share my channel handle with them, and I will do y'all a solid and put the channel handle in the chat. Deadites on Deck, or at Deadites on Deck, folks. All right. So I'm through talking about all that and doing all these announcements, and we're going to get started with Videodrome here in a few minutes, but I don't have mine queued up just yet. I'm going to turn on my other light because it's starting to get dark outside. And I know y'all don't particularly want to see me, but to make it less gloomy in the room I'm in, I'm going to turn on the lamp back here. Because Steve says, he always tells me it's better if you have more light behind you and stuff like that. Okay. I'm supposed to be getting some stuff in from Amazon this evening, and it may be here. So, but I may go away here in a little bit once we get the movie started, and go and get that once everybody's settled in and everything. So I'm going to get mine queued up here, and then I'm going to let you guys and gals, if there's any gals in here, know where I'm queued up to, okay? And again, we are watching Videodrome tonight, okay? The David Cronenberg movie that was picked by a poll of you guys and gals. And we've got another poll up right now that you can vote on for. We've got Halloween 4, Halloween 5, and Halloween H2O. And the last time I checked, Halloween 4 was winning. And I think Halloween H2O was in second place. Oh, when this thing decides to load here. Sometimes this Blu-ray drive is daggone slow is what it is. I meant to have this already queued up and I was running behind. Leaving messages for people and stuff like that. I'm bad about, waiting till the last minute to do things. All right. Now I think we're getting somewhere. Okay. Oh, also be on the lookout for a Spirit Halloween video and some pictures from where me and Steve went to Spirit Halloween today. I don't know if I said that earlier or not. No, this thing's still loading. Jeez Louise. Sometimes this thing really snaps to it, and other times it just takes forever. I like to get started about 7:20 or so, but good gracious. Sorry, folks. Wish I'd already had this thing running. There we go. This is a Criterion one. I don't know if that's what was taking it so long or what, but okay. All right, folks. I have mine queued up, and I'm sorry I forgot to get a link for this for anybody that doesn't own it. I may try to get one real quick. But I am queued up 30 seconds in on the Criterion Blu-ray where it says Universal and MCA Company. And while I'm waiting for those of you that already have one, a copy of it to watch, I'm going to see if I can find the link for those of you that may not. I don't know if this is. Oh, gosh, that's got somebody talking over it. It's not going to be real helpful. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find one that. I hate when they tell you it's a full movie and then it's somebody blabbing over top of it the whole time. Because if you're watching this in the comfort of your own home and you're wanting to watch the movie itself, and you got somebody talking over it, that's not much fun. I'm going to look one more place, folks. Steve taught me this trick about checking IMDb. Good Lord. Well, we may be out of luck for this one. So I'm not seeing. Okay. Sorry, folks. I was hoping to have better luck with that. And I meant to do that earlier, but time got away from me. Hey, Steve. Steve's in here. I thought he would be, doing something else, but he says he's only seen on Amazon. Yeah, that's probably your best bet. Steve, is that Amazon Prime or do you actually have to buy or rent it? There, my stupid signal strength thing is coming up. I don't know why it does that. It does that sometimes. I think sometimes I've got too many windows open. Like I've got tabs that I've pinned and stuff like that. So I'm going to give y'all about another minute or so. And then we're going to go ahead and get started because we have 8 people in here, folks. That's a big deal for me. As of late, it is. And then I may have to step away to get my Amazon order in. Speaking of Amazon. So, Steve, you say it said search, so I'm thinking it's only available on to purchase on. Okay. Thank you, Steve, though. I appreciate that. Are you going to hang around or are you going to bail out on us? Steve's probably going to bail out on us because he's probably going to be tired. Purchase on disc. Okay. I think you can buy it or rent it on YouTube. It's not free, but if you want to go that route, sometimes I will rent things just for, if I'm just thinking I'm going to watch it once or something for a stream or something, and I don't really want to buy it. Sleep. Hey, X-Ray. X-Ray says Steve took his Flintstone sleep time chewables. I don't think he needs to take anything. His problem is he can go to sleep, but he can't stay asleep. That's the issue with Steve. All right, gang, we're going to go ahead and get this started. I'm going to do the countdown, and then we're going to get the party started with Videodrome. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Press play. Now, I'm hoping this goes right into the movie, and it's not a... Yeah, it looks like it is. Hopefully I've got subtitles. I mean, I've seen Videodrome a lot, but yeah, I think it's going to have subtitles on here. And I think that, I know there was stuff going on in the United States. I don't know about Canada, where Cronenberg is from. Um, but there were some, I guess you would call them rogue television stations. I don't think they were as bad as the television stations on Videodrome, but I think they were showing some pretty risque stuff back in the day. Um, but I think this may have been Videodrome might have been kind of loosely based on that stuff. And Deborah Harry is on this. Good old Debbie Harry. And James Woods. They're like two of the main people on this. And the special makeup effects created by Rick Baker, who I think is just fantastic. And when you think of body horror, or at least my opinion, when you think of body horror, I instantly think of David Cronenberg, because I think David Cronenberg was the best of the body horror directors. I mean, there have been others, um, including Cronenberg's son, I think son, that has done some stuff. But even his own kids, I don't think could top their dad. Um, we're seeing a little bit of nudity here. No offense to James Woods or anything, but he has always looked so sleazy and slimy on films, no matter what role he's playing. I don't know why that is, though. I think he is supposed to be kind of a sleazy guy on here, though. Oh, that's okay, Phil. I know Steve watches Svengoolie on Saturdays too. You say I can't watch the whole movie. I got Svengoolie. He's playing the Ghost of Mr. Chicken tonight. Oh, okay. I bet Steve will watch that, and then he'll go to sleep, or he'll watch part of it and go to sleep. Yeah, I think I've seen the Ghost of Mr. Chicken, Phil, and I liked it too. It's been a while though. I like Don Knotts. Tommy said, I think some Corman movies were also body horror, like The Man with the X-Ray Eyes. Yeah, they definitely could be considered body horror, Tom. I could definitely see that. I just have always thought of Cronenberg as like the king of the body horror movies. It could be because I've seen a lot of Cronenberg movies. Oh wow, Phil, you saw Videodrome in the theater when it came out? That is awesome. Gang, I hate to go away this early, but I'm going to get a refresher on my drink. I think I'm going to get the rest of the Fanta Five Nights at Freddy's orange, um, and I will be right back. But anyway, I was reading what y'all were putting in there, but I'll be right back, folks. Okay, gang, I'm back. Sorry about that. Um, and this is a cup I got today at Spirit Halloween. They had the Halloween 2 cups with the blood drips. Hey, I was going to ask you guys and gals that are in here, anybody know why there's so much Halloween 2, like original Halloween 2 stuff out now? Because I know it's not an anniversary or anything like that. Um, the poet, you say you like the Fly remake. I do too. I think that the Fly remake that Cronenberg did is one of the best remakes. I really, really do. Well, Tom, I love an active chat, but it's not something I require because I know that people sometimes are hesitant about getting in chat, which the state of social media right now probably makes people not want to be in chat because um, they come in and they make a comment about a movie or something. And sometimes people get all over them, and I don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable in my chats. And I'm not saying anybody's going to start anything with them, but that may be why some people stay out of the chat. I'm not really sure. Um, Yeah, it is. It is too bad that there's not. I mean, I've been in some people's streams and stuff like that that they're very active chats, but I think that I really do think the state of social media and how people are treated for just having an opinion about a movie and somebody wants to come in and badger them about their opinion on a movie. I'm like, really? Is there a need to do that? Everybody can have their own opinion about movies, and I may not like every movie that you guys like, and you guys might not like every movie I like either. But that's what makes the world go round. People liking different things. You're always social. I'm a lot more social than I used to be, Tom. When I was a lot younger, I would hardly, especially when I was a kid, I would hardly say anything. I was a really shy kid. I think what made me and forced me to become more social was my first job was actually washing dishes in a local restaurant. But then I moved into a more customer service role when I worked for our public library. And I worked there for 17 years. And you got to be social in that job. You work with people every day. Tom, you said last month I left a watch along chat because they were cursing each other. Yeah, I mean that's not what a watch along is for. That's not what any live stream is for. We should all be respectful of each other. Yeah, silly and childish. That's the way to put it. That's a nicer way to put it. We could be unnice about it, but there's Deborah Harry. Speaking of her, oh, by the way, I just checked on little Ozzy, my little dormouse, and he was out and about. As soon as starts getting dark, he gets out and starts hopping around in there. I saw his little squirrel tail moving around. I always, to get back to Videodrome, I always really liked the dynamic between Deborah Harry and James Woods in this. Even though they have a very bizarre relationship in this movie, I just really, really like the dynamic. be honest, I'd be worried about somebody that something like that turned them on. But some people have their kinks. What people do behind closed doors, as long as it ain't hurting themselves or anybody else. Who am I to say anything about? A lot of Cronenberg stuff is very sexual. If you're watching along, as you can see right here, and Cronenberg doesn't shy away from stuff. Oh yeah, Steven's told me some things about James Woods. Phil. And you say Woods is a little cuckoo in real life. Tommy saying Videodrome. I think Cronenberg was more focused on the voyeurism of men. I could see that. Yeah, this is something. No. I've had piercings and stuff. I've had my nose pierced and I've had a tattoo done and stuff like that. But oh, there is no way I would want this done. Oof. No. This is not my idea of a good time here. I mean, David Cronenberg had an uncanny knack for even making sex look bizarre. For some reason, I was thinking Videodrome was longer, but no, it's about average. I'm gonna walk over here and close this back door real quick, folks. And in a lot of ways, the subject matter of this is, I mean, it's a little too close for comfort for me about what's, going on in our society now. We haven't quite got to this point where, they're murdering people on TV and people are watching it for entertainment. But Steve and I had this conversation after we went to see The Long Walk. And we were talking about how, eerily close. And Stephen King wrote the story, The Long Walk, under the Richard Bachman name years and years and years ago. But Steve was like, I'm really afraid that we're heading to a point where soon there's going to be a show that people watch for entertainment where they kill people. And I was like, Lord, I'm scared of that, but I hope it really never comes to that. Tom, you say I watch the channel reshoots. They revisit old movie locations and compare the now. Half of Cronenberg's Toronto is gone. Now it's new skyscrapers. Yeah, which is sad. Tom, you say I watched many of those old filming location walks. Some have surprises. That's why I always like Sean Clark's stuff and Scott on Tape, his stuff, and the Grim Life Collective. Those guys all do, they go back to the site of the old filming locations. And I just absolutely love that. I need to check out what you're talking about. I tell you, Deborah Harry with the brunette hair, I think she's more beautiful than with the blonde hair, like when she was in Blondie. Um, and she just burned herself with a cigarette and then hands it to James Woods. And the James Woods character in this seems very case hardened at the beginning, but he's beginning to feel unnerved with the stuff that Nikki, Deborah Harry's character, is doing. So Max, James Woods' character, his friend Marsha, I believe, is telling him, he'd be better off if he stayed away from Videodrome. And, of course, there wouldn't have been any movie if he'd really listened to her, but he probably should have listened to her because things are going to get very dangerous and very bizarre. This movie really has a lot of twists and turns in it. And it as is the way with a lot of Cronenberg films, doesn't really allow you to get a handle on it before it just kind of twists in a different direction. Frozen in time imagery, yeah. And Tommy also said, for example, on one location of Death Wish 1974, there was a crack and fault in a lantern, and it's still there unrepaired. Yeah, those are the cool things that, those cool little kind of seem to be one-off things that you only find in very rare circumstances a lot of times. So Max is going on the search for Brian Oblivion this time. That's the name he got from his friend Marcia, who is supposedly has a connection with Videodrome. So he has to go this mission for the homeless, apparently, to find Brian Oblivion. Sorry, gang, if I get quiet during certain parts of this. Sometimes I find myself, even during a watch along, getting involved in the movie, and sometimes I forget that I'm doing a watch along, and I'm like so into the movie, and then I'm like, oh, I better be saying something about it. Phil, you say, I don't want to get beat up, but this movie would benefit from a remake because technology has changed so much. Oh no, I would. I know you're not talking about me necessarily, Phil, but yeah, I could see that, there could be a lot of stuff that they could add to it. And with the right director, and the right cast, I think it could be very well done. Yeah. And something I've noticed about the character of Max is that he goes back and forth between being a semi nice guy, like being concerned over Nikki, Deborah Harry's character, and being a real sleaze, you know. And when he was talking to Brian Oblivion's daughter, Bianca Oblivion, um, he was being sort of sleazy and being kind of a dick too. But to James Woods' credit, he can do that. Tom, you say James Woods is sleepwalking into his own downfall. You're talking about in this movie or in real life? Grapefruit. That was the name of a book that Yoko Ono did. And here's where we're getting into starting to get into some really bizarre stuff because you saw him grab like his assistant, start slapping her, and the face turns into Deborah Harry, and you're like, whoa, where is this movie going? And he's apologizing to her and saying, I didn't mean to hit you. And she's like, you didn't hit me. Um, Tom, you say in this movie, is he controversial in real life? Well, yeah, he's pretty controversial. His political, I'll just say, I don't want to get into politics on here because that can get kind of dicey, but his political slant right now is um, a little right wing. And that doesn't sit too well with a lot of people. I'll just say that. If I'm thinking right, these are beta tapes and not VHS tapes. And there is Mr. Brian Oblivion there. That's a good question too, the poet. You said, "Why all this Halloween 2 merchandise they can't do for the original?" Yeah, I mean, I didn't know, I've seen a whole crap ton of Halloween 2 stuff, which I think it's cool and everything, but very, very bizarre and disturbing imagery in this film too. But I think, and there's Deborah Harry showing up again. It looks like she strangled Brian Oblivion there. But I think that because we know that we're safe watching this, that this isn't real, even though, David Cronenberg does a really good job of making it look like it's real. We know that we're safe at home watching this, or for those of you that got to see it in the theater way back when, you knew that you were safe. But look at this stuff, the pulsating video cassettes, the pulsating VCRs and stuff. It's like everything is alive. It's got blood vessels or whatever. And Nikki's on the television saying, "I want you, Max. Come on." Looks totally organic. Yeah, exactly, Tom. Exactly. This is this is always bizarre. I remember the first time I watched this and I was like, "Whoa." Breathing, yes. But he literally sticks his head into, it's almost like it's going into her mouth. And there's Kay Hawtrey, who you will see a lot of Canadian film regulars. Kay Hawtrey was, of course, on another Canadian horror film, Funeral Home, with Leslie Dawson. Yeah, I think a lot of Cronenberg stuff was ahead of its time. But I also feel like Phil said earlier that this is a film that could benefit from a remake now. And I agree with him if it had the right director and the right cast. So now Max is telling Bianca Oblivion that he's been having hallucinations since he first watched Videodrome. So Bianca's telling him that the signal, the Videodrome signal, causes brain tumors in people. So Bianca says that Brian Oblivion died quietly on an operating table 11 months ago. And that his daughter is saying, basically, anytime you saw him, because Max is like, he was on a panel show with me not very long ago. And she said, all on videotape. I guess you could look at it that way, Tom, that Videodrome was more like a terrorist weapon. You cause the chaos. Um, and as the movie goes on, it becomes apparent that you can't trust anybody. So it's a lot about paranoia too. Who can you trust at the end of the day? We're going to see another bizarre piece of imagery here shortly. You see, it looks like he has a scratch or something on his stomach, and he's at this point. Max is paranoid. He's sitting around in his own house or apartment with a gun. What does he think's going to happen? So now he's seeing a crevice is opened up in his stomach, and he's going to feel a compulsion to put something in there. So he's, poking the gun in there. This is classic Cronenberg imagery, too. And he looks down, and his stomach looks pretty normal, but the gun's not there. So where is it? Now, as if this movie wasn't, or storyline wasn't complicated enough, we're going to introduce Barry Convex to things. So, guys, I'm going to take a quick break here. I hope that you guys and gals don't mind. Like I said, if there are any gals in here, um, which is fine if you are. You know, I just have been seeing guys here in the chat. So, um, which I hope you don't mind. Just if you're watching along, please continue to watch, and I will be right back. Okay. All right, gang. Sorry about that. I had to take a little bathroom break and all that good stuff. Hey, Patrick. Um, yes, the poet. There is a 4K of this movie. Actually, this is what I have, but I can't watch the 4Ks back here. This actually has a 4K and a Blu-ray. If you get the new Criterion release, there is a 4K. And it looks really good too, by the way. Let's see. I didn't want to. Oh, the poet, you mentioned VHS Halloween. Steve watched part of it. He didn't watch all of it. I thought he watched all of it yesterday, but apparently he didn't. But what I saw of it, it was kind of interesting. I'm not huge on the VHS stuff, but like I said, some of it was cool. But hey, Patrick, um, who's your favorite slasher? Um, I would probably have to say um, Jason probably is mine, and the poet says mine's a tie between Jason and Chucky. Mine may be a tie between Jason and Michael Myers. And oh, Patrick, you say Jason and Michael. Yeah, so we all of us in here, I think, love Videodrome too, Patrick. Good 80s horror movie, yes. Tom, you say, but it's all the elements that make a good movie. Like Carol Spear was very creative. I agree. It's all weirdos working together that deliver a great movie like on Alien. Patrick, you say, yep, 80s made the best horror movies. Movies were so fun and exciting back then. Yes, yes. I think probably 80s was the best time for movies, like horror movies, but movies in general too. Because there were a lot of good, other genre movies from the 80s. Boy, this movie's went by fast, but I want to thank all you guys. And if there have been any gals in here too that are watching along, so far, like I said, it's been guys talking in the chat, but that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I wouldn't have a problem if there was a mix of guys and gals too. But when there's good, conversation and stuff, and a good movie, it makes them just move along fairly quickly. I'm like, holy cow, we're almost an hour into this movie, but another few seconds, and this is only an hour and 28-minute movie. Yeah, comedy action in the 80s. Yeah. So, see, this is where remember when I said a little bit earlier that you get to a point where you don't know, or the main character doesn't know who they can trust in the movie. And so this guy that he's kind of trusted has said, I've been the one playing you the tapes, Max. And he's been purposely exposing him to the Videodrome signal. Patrick, I have not ever been to Universal Halloween Horror Nights. I would like to, but I don't know that that's ever going to happen. But um, me and my husband Steve actually want to go to Universal, to the new stuff that they've got, the Universal monsters and stuff. Yeah, definitely looks like fun. Me and my husband have been watching videos, like YouTube videos and stuff. Here's more of that pulsating action with the videotapes. Yeah, this is another bizarre bit here. The crevice opens in his stomach, and Barry Convex is actually going to put this pulsating videotape inside of Max's body. He did always get great actors. Yeah, Oliver Reed, Samantha Egger, Jeremy Irons, Jeff Goldblum. Yeah, fantastic actors. So basically, Barry Convex wants Channel 83, which is Max's channel he oversees. And they want Max to kill his partners and then give them Channel 83. Oh, I love Jeff Goldblum too. Jeff Goldblum, and this is from a woman's perspective, I know. Jeff Goldblum has a way of being able to play like a sensitive, nerdy scientist type, which I like the nerdy types. And he can also be very sexy, and I- and it to me he's appealing on both levels. But I know you guys don't want it. You're probably thinking, "Oh God, don't talk about Jeff Goldblum that way." I don't want to think about it. And he's a fantastic actor as well, though. I just love the effects in this. And this is old school special effects. And if they did remake it, if they ever did remake it, I would love them to stay kind of old school with the special effects, because I feel like they're really, really effective. And I'm afraid if they did too much CG and stuff like that, that it wouldn't be as effective. And this is very much like nightmare stuff. Oh, goodness. I hope we don't lose power here. We lost power just at the drop of a hat the other day. A lot of people are losing power periodically and randomly here in Louisville. Yeah, it's to me it's kind of sad how things have changed. I do watch Stranger Things, Patrick. I'm a huge fan of Stranger Things. I can't wait for the next and apparently final season. Is it just me, or is that for those of y'all that are watching, that guy in back there looks like he's got Conway Twitty hair? Well, Max just well, they told him to kill his partners, and that's exactly what he's doing. You watching all the episodes of Night Gallery, Tom? I like Night Gallery really well too. It's one of those classic horror anthology shows. Okay, sorry, I keep yawning. And they're wanting Max to kill Bianca Oblivion because they think she's going to hurt a, a Videodrome. Hey, Menelect, I've been thinking about you because I hadn't seen you for a while. I'm glad to see that you're still around. Yes, Patrick, I loved Tales from the Dark Side back in the day. I was an avid watcher of that when I was a kid, and I still love it. I own all the episodes. So now Bianca Oblivion is showing him video and telling him that they killed Nikki Brand. They were Harry's character. and then a hand comes out of the TV and shoots, smacks her in. Yeah, like I said earlier, I like Debbie Harry. I think she looks more attractive with the dark hair. So now Bianca Oblivion is telling, it seems that Max is back to normal now. And she told him, it's always painful to remove the video cassette. And she's saying, death to Videodrome, long live the new flesh. Celebrity crushes, Patrick. Well, I still, even to this day, have a huge crush on Matthew McConaughey. I don't know if it's that Texan accent or what it is, but and some people might not think of Matthew McConaughey so much as a celebrity now, but um, yeah, I definitely he still does it for me. Yeah, I always have, liked Matthew McConaughey as an actor, and he seems like a pretty good guy in real life too. Yeah, this guy's very weird. I have seen Weapons, Tom. I didn't watch Sinners. I think Steve did. So I really can't feel like can properly comment on the comparison between those two. But I liked Weapons pretty well, except and I don't want to say too much about the ending, but I don't like endings generally that were like the endings to Weapons. So we got about 10, 11 minutes left in the film, so it's gonna be winding up. And Max literally blew that other guy away there. He thought he was gonna put a tape in him and control Max more. Didn't end up that way though. And apparently, this Barry Convex runs some. It's probably some cover business, spectacular optics or optical or whatever. And he's apparently at a trade show. So apparently, he's still got this mutated handgun thing going on. And it appears he's going to assassinate Barry Convex here. This is very bizarre too, and because apparently these tumors they were talking about, Barry Convex was riddled with them. Patrick, you say I liked Megan too, even though fans of the first didn't like it. It was more like Terminator 2 action thriller instead of horror like the first. I heard things along those lines too, Patrick. I did see the first Megan. I haven't seen Megan 2 though, so I probably can't comment on that. But hey, I've liked the. I usually don't say that I like a sequel more than I do the first one. I know that's not what you're saying specifically, but hey, if you like the sequels to stuff, I think we should all feel free to have our own individual taste and our own individual opinions on stuff. And I think that that's great that people say those things. And like I've said before, I like my streams and stuff to be a place where people can feel like that they can come in and comment on particular movies without fear that somebody's going to come in here and badger them just because they like a certain movie or don't like a certain movie, right? So we got about 5 more minutes left in the film. Like I said, I for some reason I was thinking Videodrome was a longer film, but apparently not. Tom, are you talking about me? When you say you're so well informed, you sound like some I watch. No names. Well, I try to know, basically what I'm talking about with movies before I get on here and I try to talk about anything. I don't want to, sound like I'm talking out of the side of my mouth or whatever. So Nikki is still talking to Max, and she's talking about the new phase and the Videodrome's still out there. Oh, thank you, Patrick. I appreciate all of you guys' support. So she's telling him, don't be afraid to let your body die. And she's saying, come to Nikki. She's saying that again. Patrick, you said, do you have a favorite superhero? This may sound a little, more modern, but I love Deadpool. Instead of the more traditional, Superman, Spider Man, Batman, people like that. I just love Deadpool, and I also like the Guardians of the Galaxy collectively too. There's where the guts blow out of the television. He still has a mutated gun hand, as I call it. Long live the new flesh. And then it goes to black and you hear the gunshot. Oh, me and my husband, we love Deadpool and Wolverine. We had a really good time in the theater watching that one. So, gang, Right, Tom. Yeah, the mutation is only in his own head. Yeah, exactly. Because nobody else is seeing a lot of these things that he's seeing, hallucinating. Yeah, exactly. We have officially reached the end of Videodrome. I'm going to stay with you guys until the credits finish rolling, as I always do, in case anybody has any final comments or questions maybe that they want to ask or anything. And then if nobody has anything, I'll probably get on out of here for the night. But this was a really good watch along. I enjoyed the conversation with you guys in the chat, and even if you didn't feel comfortable getting in the chat tonight, I appreciated that several people. I noticed that several people came in and apparently watched as long as they could. See you, Tom. Thanks for coming by. It's been good seeing Patrick in here and Menelect and the poet and Phil was in here earlier. Yeah, and X-Ray and my dear husband Steve was in here a little bit earlier. So this has been a fun one. This one for me will go down the books as one of the fun ones. Oh, that would be cool, Patrick. You want to visit Transylvania and stay in Dracula's castle? That would be awesome. Okay. Well, gang, I guess that is it for me, from me for tonight. Again, thank all of you guys. And if there were any gals that were watching along, I want to thank you as well. And also for those of you that maybe couldn't make it to the live stream or couldn't stay for the duration, like Phil, I know he was going to get out of here and watch Svengoolie, which I fully respect. I thought Steve would be watching. Maybe he wasn't interested in watching The Ghost of Mr. Chicken. I don't know. I thought he liked that movie. See you, Patrick. Thanks for stopping by. But as always, I'm going to go ahead and get off here for the night. I got a few things to do before I get completely settled down. But as always, I'm off like a dirty shirt. This shirt ain't dirty, but I'm off like one. And I want to remind everybody, as I always do before I get off of here for the night, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. Have a fantastic rest of your Saturday night, folks. Get out there, blast some Aussie, and try your best to live the Aussie way. And what do I mean by that? Don't stay stuck in the past, folks. Stay in the present, move forward into the future, and never, ever give up on your dreams. I love each and every one of you guys and gals out there, and I'll see everybody next time.